Hello, unknown internet travels. I'm Lord DT, and welcome to my podcast channel. For this new and first episode, I'm going to interview Isabella, who is a well-experienced supervisor for a marketing company in California. And we are going to talk about what makes a work environment creative and how a creative work environment can be beneficial for employees as well as customers. So, how are you doing, Isabella?
I am fine, Diego, but also I am excited to share my stories and experiences working as a supervisor in Marketing. Connected World Inc.
That's awesome, Isabella. But first, tell us a little bit about you first, okay?
So I am a 31-year-old Californian girl and I went to study at UCLA. I was majoring in marketing while working as a host in a seafood restaurant.
Interesting. So tell me why we should be aware of our work environment and what makes a work environment creative.
In order to answer this question, you must think about in a scale from 1 to 10 how creative you are and check on what level of creativity other employees will likely fall into this category. But also you must assign them tasks that they can express their ideas and can embrace innovation rather than just regular tasks.
Oh, so what kind of tasks you should assign your employees in order to know on what level of creativity they fall into?
In order to establish a creative work environment, you must be conducive to creative tasks. Some of those tasks that you must assign your employees can be, for example, foster collaboration, encourage risk-taking, and provide flexibility and autonomy, along with a supportive culture that values innovation and diverse perspectives. These will help to establish a creative work environment.
Oh, that's interesting. But before you assign your employees tasks like the ones you told me, I imagine you should think about the risk first, right?
Yes, Diego, I usually, when I need to establish a creative work environment, I first make a test with questions to answer to see in what level of creativity each employers fall into it, and I encourage to all employees to give a try the test at first, so I reward them with some donuts or cookies that I bought to me employees, the ones who completed the creativity test. Even though this is not a test that requires passing, I have had a lot of employees in the past who failed the test. This test is to review how creative they are at that point.
So, Isabella, what are the questions you ask them to respond to in the test? And if it has a formal type, like from a scale from 1 to 10, how sure are they to answer each question?
Yes, well, the test format is a scale review for each question they answer, so on my creativity test level there are 14 questions, so I wanted to them to answer each question and they have to be the most honest for each question in a scale from 1 to 10 how sure they have these behaviors or they have this mindset. For example, the question that are in the test are question like, do I enjoy word games and puzzles, from a scale from 1 to 10 how much I enjoy word games and puzzles. Another example be like, I read and listen to ideas that are contrary to my own beliefs, from a scale from 1 to 10 I listen to ideas that are contrary to my own beliefs, and so on. These questions are essential to my knowledge of how creative each employer is, but it could change over time. I can make my employees, even the ones who already took the test, later to do it again in a couple months or years and see how they progress, of course putting different question from the first test.
So, Isabella, when and where do you make your employees take the test?
My employees can take the test anytime they want. Usually it is an online test and they can do it if they want to, but I only give rewards to the employees who take the test. They usually take it at home or during their lunchtime at work.
I think your test is something great and that could be used to kind of review each employer on what you expect from their creativity performance before you assign tasks that require a level of creative work for employees.
Thanks, Diego. In my opinion, each supervisor must make their employees do this kind of test that would help them a lot even before establishing a creative work environment.
Great, so that will be our first step, right, before establishing a creative work environment.
Yes, this method could be a great move before establish a creative work environment. It could give us some feedback of each employer level of creativity and how they feel about themselves, how creative they are at the moment.
Oh, Isabella, at the moment, do they take the test?
Yes, on the moment they take the test at that period of time.
So, Isabella, what would be the next step to establish a creative work environment?
So after the test, the next step would be like to do is, for example, while I've been working on marketing, my coworkers and employees will do different tasks, but somehow each employer must be allowed to use their creative skills. So I encourage my employees throughout a culture of innovation and experimentation. Encourages risk-taking tasks. I celebrate failure as a learning opportunity. I promote open communication, feedback, and employee empowerment autonomy. I also provide opportunities for growth and development and give values to diversity of thought and experience.
Those are great ways to make a work environment creative. Can you tell us the pros of having a creative work environment, Isabella?
Sure, Diego. The pros of having a creative work environment: foster innovation, boost employee engagement, and encourage collaboration, ultimately leading to higher productivity and a more dynamic workplace. Also, that a creative work environment ignites innovation among your team, which can motivate professionals to perform more competently in their positions. Consider exploring the characteristics of a creative work setting to understand how it can produce positive results for the company.
I think we don't have more questions to ask you, but it was a great pleasure to have you for this podcast episode, and I'm looking forward to contact you for a further interview meeting.
Thank you, Diego, for inviting me to your podcast channel, and I am excited to see us again talking about other essential ways and strategies to be a good supervisor and make the company's name great.
Alright, bye Isabella, take care, see you next time.
You too, bye Diego, see ya soon.